She called me ugly, in front of everyone, then left me with a bill for 15 people. I didn't argue. The next morning, she had 139 missed calls, and none of them were from me. Before we get into it, don't forget to like and subscribe, and hit hype to boost this episode. Drop a comment below with your city or country. I'm always curious where viewers are joining from. It started as a normal Friday night. Well, as normal as any night with Melissa could be. She'd texted me that afternoon saying she wanted to go out for dinner. Nothing fancy, she said. Just us, and maybe a couple of friends. I should have known better. When I arrived at Luminosa, this upscale Italian place downtown with exposed brick walls, hanging Edison bulbs, and a wine list that probably cost more than my rent, I immediately saw that a couple of friends meant 15 people crowded around 3 tables pushed together in the center of the restaurant. The place was packed. Friday night rush. Every table full of well-dressed people enjoying expensive meals and expensive wine. And there, right in the middle of all of it, was Melissa, holding court like a queen surrounded by her subjects. "Ryan, over here." Melissa waved from the middle of the chaos, her perfectly manicured hand glittering under the warm light. She was wearing that black dress she'd bought last week, the one that cost more than my entire wardrobe, and her hair was styled in those loose waves that took her 2 hours to perfect. I walked over, weaving between tables, confused and already feeling out of place in my button-down shirt and jeans. I recognized maybe 4 of these people. The rest were strangers, all dressed like they were heading to a fashion show or a magazine photo shoot, talking loudly and laughing louder. "Hey, babe," Melissa said, kissing me quickly on the cheek without really looking at me. "Everyone, this is Ryan. Ryan, this is everyone." A chorus of half-interested heys and what's-ups followed. Most people didn't even look up from their phones or their conversations. I sat down in the only empty chair, squeezed between Melissa and some guy in a designer jacket with slicked-back hair who immediately went back to his conversation without acknowledging me. "What's all this?" I whispered to Melissa, leaning close so only she could hear. "Just some people from the influencer meetup I went to last week. They wanted to grab dinner, so I said we'd host. Isn't this great? I'm making such good connections." "Host? Melissa, I didn't know we were hosting anything." She waved dismissively, her attention already drifting to the girl across the table who was showing her something on her phone. "You know what I mean. Come on, don't be boring tonight. Just relax and have fun." The waiter appeared, a young guy with a practiced smile, and without even consulting me or really looking at the prices, people started ordering. Appetizers for the table, multiple appetizers, entrees that cost $40 each. The expensive wine, multiple bottles, cocktails. Someone ordered champagne. Another person ordered the lobster special. "I'll have the filet mignon, medium rare," Melissa said. "And can you bring us another bottle of that Pinot? Actually, make it 2 bottles." I watched the chaos unfold with growing dread, feeling more and more like a ghost at my own table. Nobody asked me what I wanted. The waiter just assumed I'd order whatever Melissa hadn't already ordered for the table. I finally mumbled something about the chicken pasta, the cheapest entree on the menu, and the waiter nodded and disappeared. Melissa was in her element. This was her stage. She laughed loudly at jokes that weren't funny, posed for photos with every single dish that arrived, and talked endlessly about her latest collaboration with some makeup brand nobody had ever heard of. "Oh my God, you guys have to try this," she said to the girl next to her, not to me, holding up a fork with some kind of caviar appetizer. "It's literally heaven. So bougie. This is going straight to my Instagram story." She took 17 photos of that one appetizer. I counted. I sat there, eating my pasta quietly when it finally arrived, trying to make small talk with the designer jacket guy next to me, who gave me one-word answers while scrolling through Instagram and double-tapping photos without even looking at them. "So you work with Melissa?" I asked. "Nah." "Oh, how do you know her?" "Met her at the meetup thing." "Cool. What do you do?" "Crypto stuff." "That's interesting. What kind of—" "Hey, babe, can you take a photo of me and Jessica?" Melissa interrupted, shoving her phone into my hands. "Get the chandelier in the background. Make sure the lighting is good." I took the photo, then another, then 5 more because the angle wasn't right, or her smile looked weird, or the chandelier wasn't centered properly. "Perfect," she finally said, taking the phone back without saying thank you. "You're so good at this." That was the only compliment I got all night. 2 hours passed like some kind of strange torture. The table was a war zone of empty plates, crumpled napkins, wine-stained glasses, and loud voices. Everyone was drunk, having the time of their lives, talking about brand deals and follower counts and engagement rates like they were discussing the stock market. Everyone except me. I nursed my 1 glass of wine and tried to participate in conversations that I wasn't included in, tried to laugh at inside jokes I didn't understand, Tried to feel like I belonged at this table with my girlfriend and her new friends. I didn't. Then Melissa's friend Jessica, a tall blonde with sharp eyes, sharp cheekbones, and an even sharper tongue, leaned forward across the table and looked directly at me. She'd been drinking heavily all night, and her words were starting to slur just slightly. "So, Ryan," she said, loud enough that several conversations stopped. "What do you do?" "I'm a graphic designer." "Oh, cute. Like freelance?" "Yeah, mostly. I do branding, web design, logo development, that kind of thing." She nodded slowly, her expression suggesting I'd just told her I made balloon animals at children's parties. "That's nice. Must be hard to make real money doing that, though, right? Like, actually support yourself?" I felt my jaw tighten. "I do fine. It's steady work." "I'm just saying," Jessica continued, emboldened by the alcohol and the audience. "It's not exactly a stable career. Not like real tech jobs or finance or anything. It's more of a hobby that pays, right?" Melissa laughed. Actually laughed. My girlfriend laughed at me being insulted. "Jessica, stop," she said, but she was smiling. "Ryan does fine." "I'm just saying," Jessica repeated, leaning back in her chair with a smirk. Like, Melissa's always talking about her career and her opportunities and all these amazing things happening for her. It must be kind of hard to keep up with someone like her when you're doing the freelance artist thing. That's a lot of pressure. "I don't think of it as keeping up," I said quietly, trying to keep my voice even. "We support each other. That's how relationships work." Sure, Jessica said, waving her hand dismissively. "That's really sweet. Very wholesome." The way she said wholesome made it sound like an insult. The conversation moved on, but the damage was done. I could feel eyes on me now, people sizing me up, judging, finding me lacking. Melissa didn't defend me, didn't shut it down, didn't tell Jessica to back off or change the subject. She just kept laughing and posing for photos and acting like nothing had happened, like I wasn't sitting right there, humiliated. The waiter came by to check on us, asked if we needed anything else. Someone ordered dessert. 3 people ordered coffee. Melissa ordered another glass of wine. I ordered nothing and prayed this night would end soon. Then, finally, the check came. The waiter set the black leather folder down in the middle of the table, right between the empty wine bottles and the remnants of someone's tiramisu, and immediately everyone went silent. 15 people who'd been loud and animated and full of energy for 2.5 hours suddenly became very interested in their phones. "So, how are we splitting this?" someone asked nervously. "Yeah, let's just divide it up evenly," another voice chimed in. "Makes it easier." "Wait, I only had a salad and 1 drink." A girl at the end of the table protested. "I'm not paying for everyone's lobster." "Okay, well, we can do separate checks based on what everyone ordered," someone else suggested. The waiter, sensing incoming chaos, started to back away. "I can split it however you'd like. Just let me know." Melissa picked up the check, pulled out the receipt, and her eyes went wide. She held it up like it was evidence in a murder trial. $647. The table went even quieter. A few people shifted uncomfortably. Someone coughed. Melissa set the check down and looked directly at me. Her expression had changed. The warmth, the fake affection she'd been performing all night, was gone. In its place was something cold, calculating. "Ryan can get it." I blinked, sure I'd misheard. "What?" "You can get it, right? I mean, you invited everyone." "I didn't invite anyone, Melissa. You did. You told me it was just going to be a couple of friends." She laughed, but it wasn't her real laugh. It was sharp, edged with something mean. "Oh, come on. Don't be cheap. It's just dinner. You're not seriously going to make a scene about this, are you?" $647 isn't just dinner, Melissa. That's rent money. That's what?" she interrupted, her voice rising. "Too expensive for you? Is that what you're saying? That you can't afford to take me and my friends out to a nice dinner?" The entire table was watching now. All 15 people staring at me, waiting to see what I'd do. Some looked uncomfortable, most looked entertained, like this was just another part of the evening's drama. "It's not about affording it," I said, trying to keep my voice calm. "It's about the fact that you didn't ask me. You didn't tell me I'd be paying for 15 people. You just assumed—" "I assumed you'd be a gentleman," Melissa snapped. "I assumed you'd want to impress my friends. I assumed you'd care about looking good in front of people who actually matter in this industry." "People who matter?" "Yes, Ryan. People who matter. People who have careers and connections and futures, not people who sit at home making logos for small businesses nobody's ever heard of." The table was dead silent now. You could have heard a pin drop. I felt my face burning, felt every eye on me, felt the weight of the humiliation pressing down on my chest like a physical thing. You know what, Ryan? Melissa continued, her voice loud enough that people at nearby tables were starting to look over. You should be grateful I even date you. You should be grateful I bring you to places like this and introduce you to people like this. Look at you. My stomach dropped. Look at you, she repeated, gesturing at me like I was an object. Compared to them, compared to anyone at this table, you're average, you're boring, you dress like you shop at a thrift store, you have no ambition, no connections, no real future. And honestly, you're not even that attractive. So yeah, maybe you should pay for dinner. Consider it payment for the privilege of sitting at this table. Consider it payment for the privilege of being with me. Nobody said anything. Nobody defended me. Nobody told her to stop. Jessica was smirking. A few other people looked away, embarrassed but not shocked. Like this wasn't surprising, like they'd expected this. Melissa stood up, grabbed her purse from the back of her chair, and leaned down to kiss Jessica on the cheek. This was fun, babe. We should do it again soon. Text me about that collab thing. Then she looked at me one last time. Good luck, Mr. Nice Guy. Don't forget to tip. And then she walked out, just like that. Left me sitting there with 14 strangers and a $647 bill. I sat frozen, unable to move, unable to process what had just happened. Around me, people were gathering their things, checking their phones, preparing to leave. One by one, her friends got up and left too. A few mumbled awkward goodbyes. Sorry, man. That was intense. Thanks for dinner, I guess. Most didn't even look at me. Within 5 minutes, I was sitting alone at a table covered in empty plates and glasses, holding a check for $647. The waiter came back over, looking deeply apologetic. Sir, I'm so sorry about that. Whenever you're ready, there's no rush. I pulled out my credit card with shaking hands and handed it to him. He took it without comment and walked away. I sat there in the middle of that busy restaurant, surrounded by happy couples and laughing groups, and felt more alone than I'd ever felt in my life. Some lessons cost money, others cost respect. That night cost both. I drove home in complete silence. No music, no podcast, no radio. Just the sound of my breathing and the hum of the engine and the occasional rush of a car passing me on the highway. My phone buzzed a few times on the passenger seat. I didn't look at it. I knew it was her, already trying to smooth things over, probably, already preparing her justifications. The city lights blurred past my windows. I took the long way home, not ready to face my empty apartment yet, not ready to be still with my thoughts. What she said kept replaying in my head. You should be grateful I even date you. You're average. You're boring. You're not even that attractive. Each word was a knife, sharp and precise, designed to cut deep. When I finally pulled into my apartment complex, I sat in my car for 10 minutes, staring at nothing. The parking lot was quiet. A few windows were lit in the building. Someone was grilling on their balcony. I could smell the charcoal. Normal life. Normal Friday night for normal people. My hands were still shaking when I finally got out of the car. Inside my apartment, I dropped my keys on the counter and stood in the dark for a moment. Then I turned on the lights, opened my laptop, and sat down at my desk. My phone buzzed again. I picked it up. 7 text messages from Melissa. Don't be dramatic. It was just a joke. You're so sensitive. Everyone's asking why you're being weird. Can you just get over it? We were all having fun. You're embarrassing me. Whatever. Be mad then. I set the phone down and opened my laptop. I'm a graphic designer. I've been doing it professionally for 7 years, ever since I graduated from design school with a portfolio I'd spent 4 years building. I'm good at it. Good enough that I've worked with dozens of clients, built brands from scratch, won a few small awards, made a decent living doing something I actually enjoyed. Good enough that Melissa came to me 2 years ago when we first started dating, back when things were good, back when she looked at me like I was someone worth looking at. I want to be an influencer, she'd said, sitting cross-legged on my couch, her eyes bright with ambition. I want to build a real brand, but I need help. I need someone who can make me look professional. Can you help me? I said yes. Of course I said yes. I loved her. I wanted to support her dreams. And honestly, it felt good to be needed. Over the next year and a half, I designed everything for her. Her logo, a minimalist design with her initials intertwined, elegant and modern. Her website, clean, responsive, professional, with custom photography layouts and a blog section she never used. Her media kit, a comprehensive PDF showcasing her demographics, engagement rates, past collaborations. Her Instagram templates, coordinated, branded, instantly recognizable. Her YouTube thumbnails and channel art. Her email newsletter design. Her business cards. I built her entire visual identity from scratch, spent hundreds of hours perfecting every detail, every color choice, every font pairing, revised things a dozen times because she wanted it more me, stayed up late finishing projects because she had a meeting with a potential sponsor and needed materials by tomorrow morning, and I did it all for free. Because I loved her, because I wanted to see her succeed, because she told me I was helping her build her dream. She went from 3,000 followers to 75,000 in 18 months. Brands started reaching out. Small ones at first, skincare companies, clothing boutiques, local restaurants, then bigger ones, national brands, makeup companies, fashion labels. She was making real money now. Real opportunities were opening up, and I was happy for her. Proud, even. It felt good to see my work out there in the world, helping someone I cared about achieve something real. Until tonight. Until she made it crystal clear that my work didn't matter, that I didn't matter, that I was just a convenient tool she'd use to build herself up. I logged into the back end of her website. All the access was still under my accounts. My hosting service, my domain management, my cloud storage for all the design files. She'd never bothered to take any of it over herself, never learned how to manage her own brand infrastructure. She just let me handle it while she focused on being the face of everything. For a long moment, I just stared at the screen, at all the work I'd done, at the dashboard showing her website traffic, 47,000 visitors last month, at the analytics showing where her income was coming from. My phone buzzed again. Another text from Melissa. "Are you seriously going to ignore me all night?" I picked up the phone, looked at her message, and then set it back down without responding. Then I started working. I didn't delete anything. I'm not that kind of person. I'm not cruel. But I did remove my access, unlinked my hosting account, which meant her website would stay up for the next 30 days until the auto-renewal came up, and when it couldn't process payment because my card was no longer attached, it would go dark. Downloaded all my original design files from the shared drive and moved them to a private folder on my own computer. Changed all the passwords to accounts I'd set up for her, the domain registrar, the email hosting, the cloud storage, the stock photo subscriptions. Everything that I'd built, everything that I'd paid for with my own money because she'd always said she'd pay me back eventually, but never did. I took it all back, then I went to her website's front page, the beautiful, clean, professional homepage I'd spent 2 weeks designing. I opened the HTML editor and replaced the entire thing with a single line of text centered on a white background. Site under reconstruction. The artist has left the project. Simple, clean, professional. Exactly my style. I hit publish and closed my laptop. My phone buzzed again. I turned it off completely and put it in a drawer. Then I went to bed. She thought she'd embarrassed me publicly. I just made sure her spotlight went dark. I woke up the next morning to complete silence. My phone was still in the drawer. For a few blissful seconds, I forgot about everything. Then it all came rushing back. I made coffee, showered, got dressed. Normal Saturday morning routine. Around 10, I finally took my phone out of the drawer and turned it on. The screen immediately exploded with notifications. 139 missed calls. 73 from Melissa, 12 from Jessica, 8 from numbers I didn't recognize, the rest from various other people I barely knew. There were also 86 text messages. I scrolled through them, my coffee getting cold in my hand. From Melissa. "Ryan, call me right now. What did you do to my website? This isn't funny. You're sabotaging my career. Call me back immediately. I know you're seeing these. You're being childish. Pick up your phone. Ryan, I swear to God." From Jessica. "UTF, did you do? Melissa is freaking out. This is so immature. Just give her the passwords back." From unknown numbers. Probably her manager and sponsors. "Hi, this is Andrea from Brightwave Marketing. We're trying to access Melissa's media kit and the link isn't working. Can you help?" "This is Kevin Chen, Melissa's manager. We need to talk immediately." I set the phone down and took a sip of my cold coffee. Around noon, someone started pounding on my door. Aggressive, angry. I didn't need to look through the peephole to know who it was, but I looked anyway. Melissa, hair messy, no makeup, wearing sweatpants and an old hoodie. I'd never seen her leave her apartment looking like that. She looked like she hadn't slept. She was still pounding when I opened the door. "What the hell did you do?" she screamed, immediately pushing past me into my apartment. "What the hell did you do to my website?" "Good morning to you, too." "Don't play dumb with me, Ryan. My website is down, my files are gone, my sponsors are freaking out because they can't access my media kit. My manager is threatening to drop me. I have a campaign launching next week and I have nothing. What did you do?" I leaned against the doorframe, still holding my coffee mug. "I took my work with me." "Your work? That's my brand. That's my career. You can't just take it. Actually, I can. It's my intellectual property. You never paid me for any of it, remember? It was all a favor. For my girlfriend. I'm still your girlfriend. Are you? Because last night you called me ugly in front of 15 people, told me I should be grateful you even date me, and left me with a $600 bill. That doesn't sound like girlfriend behavior to me. Her face twisted. I was drunk. I didn't mean it like that. You meant enough of it. Ryan, please. Her voice changed, becoming softer, more manipulative. The voice she used when she wanted something. I need those files. I need the website back up. I have contracts. Real money on the line. You can't do this to me. Should have thought about that before you publicly humiliated me. So what? You're just going to ruin everything I worked for? Everything I built? I took a slow sip of my coffee. You didn't build anything, Melissa. I did. You just smiled for the camera. Her face went red. You bastard. You absolute bastard. I'm going to sue you. This is theft. This is sabotage. I'll take you to court. Go ahead. Sue me for taking back work I did for free, using my own accounts, my own hosting, my own money. I'm sure that'll go great for you. You're ruining my life. No, I'm just not building it for you anymore. There's a difference. She stared at me, breathing hard, her hands clenched into fists. For a moment, I thought she might actually hit me. Please, she said again, and this time there were tears in her eyes. Real or fake, I couldn't tell anymore. Please, Ryan, I'm sorry about last night. I really am. I was drunk and stupid, and I said things I didn't mean. But you can't destroy everything because of one bad night. Please, I'll make it up to you. I'll pay you for the work. I'll do whatever you want. What I want, I said quietly, is for you to leave. Ryan, get out, Melissa. She opened her mouth to argue, to plead, to threaten, but something in my expression stopped her. Maybe she finally realized that I was done, that there was no amount of crying or apologizing or manipulating that would change my mind. She turned and walked to the door, then stopped and looked back at me. You know what? You are ugly, inside and out, and you're going to regret this. Probably. But at least I'm not the one who abandons people at restaurants with $600 bills. She slammed the door so hard a picture fell off my wall. I picked it up. It was a photo of the two of us from last year, smiling at the beach. I looked at it for a long moment, then dropped it in the trash. Respect isn't free, and neither was my time. Over the next few days, I watched the fallout unfold from a safe distance, like watching a storm from inside a warm house. Melissa tried to rebuild. She hired someone, probably paid them actual money this time, to create a new website. It went live 3 days later. I looked at it once out of curiosity. It looked generic, template-based, the kind of thing you could make in an hour using Squarespace or Wix. Nothing like what I'd made for her. No custom design, no personality, no cohesion with her brand. Her followers noticed immediately. The comments started rolling in on her Instagram posts. What happened to your website? It looks different. Did you rebrand? This new aesthetic isn't really working. Your old site was so much better. What changed? This looks kind of cheap now, not gonna lie. She didn't respond to any of them. Her Instagram engagement started dropping. Without her website as a central hub, without her professionally designed media kit, without the cohesive brand identity I'd built for her, everything started falling apart. Sponsors started pulling back. Collaborations fell through. Her manager did drop her, apparently deciding she wasn't worth the hassle. Then she made the mistake of going live. I didn't watch it myself, but my friend Connor, who'd been following the drama with morbid fascination, sent me a clip. Melissa was in her bedroom, sitting on her bed, wearing a hoodie, crying. Actual tears streaming down her face. Her voice was shaking. I just want to address what's been happening, she said to the camera. A lot of you have been asking about my website and my content and what's going on, and I want to be honest with you guys because you deserve to know the truth. She took a shaky breath. I was in a relationship with someone who I thought cared about me, who I thought supported my dreams. And when things got hard, when we had one fight, he turned on me. He sabotaged my career. He stole my files, deleted my website, destroyed months and months of work, all because of one argument. More tears. She wiped her eyes with her sleeve. I trusted him with everything. I gave him access to my brand, to my content, to my future. And he used that trust to hurt me, to try to destroy everything I'd built. And now I'm here, trying to pick up the pieces, trying to rebuild from nothing. The comments were rolling in. I could see them in the clip Connor sent. Oh my God, that's so toxic. I'm so sorry this happened to you. What kind of person does that? But there were others too. What did you do to him? Why would he do that unless you did something first? This sounds like there's more to the story. So he built your website and you're mad he took it back. Melissa didn't address those comments, just kept crying and talking about betrayal and toxic relationships and how hard it was to be a woman in the influencer industry. The video ended. She's unbelievable, Connor texted me. Is she seriously playing victim? Apparently. Are you going to respond? Tell your side? No. Why not? Because I don't need to. The people who matter know the truth. The rest can believe whatever they want. And I meant it. I wasn't interested in fighting a public battle with her. Wasn't interested in defending myself or telling my side of the story. The truth would come out eventually. It always does. Meanwhile, my life was actually improving. I updated my portfolio website, added all the work I'd done for Melissa, listed under former client, full branding, and web design package. I included before and after shots, the logo development process, the website mock-ups, examples of the templates and materials I'd created. I didn't mention her by name, didn't need to. Anyone who knew her brand would recognize it immediately. Within a week, I had 3 new client inquiries, real clients who wanted to pay me real money for real work. One of them was a startup founder who said, I saw your work on that influencers page. When I noticed it all disappeared and tracked down who'd designed it, I knew I had to hire you. Anyone who can build a brand that professional is exactly who I need. I took the job, charged them triple my usual rate. They paid without negotiating. By the end of the month, I'd made more money than I had in the previous 3 months combined. Funny how people see your value once someone else throws it away. 3 weeks after the restaurant incident, my phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number. I almost didn't open it. I'd gotten pretty good at ignoring notifications by then. But something made me look. Ryan, it's Melissa. I got a new number. Can we talk? I stared at the message for a long time, watched the typing indicator appear and disappear several times as she wrote and deleted messages. Finally, another text came through. Please, I know I messed up. I know I said terrible things. But I'm sorry. Really sorry. Can we please just talk? I miss you. I set the phone down and went back to the logo design I was working on. 10 minutes later, another message. I know you're seeing these. Please just respond. Even if it's just to tell me you hate me. Please. I picked up the phone and typed, We already did. You just didn't like the answer. Then I blocked the number. That night, I met up with Connor for drinks at a bar downtown. Not Luminosa, somewhere cheaper, somewhere real. So is it over? He asked, sliding a beer across the table to me. Like, really over? Yeah, it's over. How do you feel? I thought about it, taking a sip of my beer. Lighter, like I've been carrying something heavy and I finally put it down. Good. She didn't deserve you, man. She never did. I know that now. You should, he said. You're talented. You're kind. You're a good dude. She took advantage of that and then threw it in your face. Some people don't deserve second chances. We clinked our glasses together. To new beginnings, Connor said. To knowing your worth, I replied. Melissa texted a few more times over the next few weeks, always from different numbers. The messages followed a pattern. Apologetic at first, then desperate, then angry, then apologetic again. I'm sorry. Please talk to me. I need you. I can't do this without you. You're an asshole for abandoning me like this. Please, Ryan, I love you. I'll pay you whatever you want. Just help me. You ruined everything. Can we at least talk? I blocked every number. Never responded. After a while, they stopped coming. A few months later, I ran into Jessica at a coffee shop in the Arts District. I was there meeting a new client. She was there with her laptop, probably doing whatever influencers do when they are not taking photos of their food. She looked uncomfortable when she saw me, like she wanted to pretend she hadn't, but I was standing right in line behind her. Hey, Ryan, she said quietly. Jessica, how are you? Good. You? I'm fine. She fidgeted with her phone case. Look, I just want to say I'm sorry about that night, at the restaurant. I was drunk and being a jerk. What I said about your career and everything, that was shitty. I'm sorry. Okay. Melissa was too. Being shitty, I mean. What she said to you was awful. Yep. She bit her lip. She talks about you sometimes, you know? Says she made a huge mistake. That's not my problem anymore. Jessica nodded slowly. She's really struggling. Lost a bunch of sponsors. Had to move back in with her parents. I think she's working at a coffee shop now, actually. Not as an influencer thing. like as an actual barista. I didn't say anything. Do you feel bad? Jessica asked. About what happened to her? No. Not even a little? I met her eyes. She called me ugly, in public, in front of 15 people. Then she left me with a $647 bill and told me I should be grateful she even dated me. So no, Jessica, I don't feel bad that her influencer career fell apart when I stopped providing free labor and paying for her lifestyle. Jessica looked down at her coffee cup. Yeah, that was really messed up. We all knew it was messed up. I should have said something that night. But you didn't. No, I didn't, and I'm sorry for that too. The barista called my name. My order was ready. I have a meeting, I said, grabbing my coffee. Take care, Jessica. I walked away without looking back.